Hello everyone, my name is ConXS, also known as Cunning5. This document is about origins and story of my experience in the SCPF genre, and as being the administrator of one. We will be discussing a few topics today that I would like to share with you guys. Disclaimer, this video includes disturbing content for people that are under the age of 18. I highly advise you guys, if you're under the age of 18, to either click off or continue to watch at your own risk. Before we begin this video, I will explain to you guys in short what the SCPF genre is. The SCPF genre stands for Special Containment Procedure Foundation. In this genre, it's about groups acting and constructed as a real SCPF foundation. The genre is very popular for the adolescents and that are into military and horror stuff. Now, everyone, let's dive in the depths of the SCPF genre. Part 1. SCPFs begin to rise. Around 2015/2016, the Roblox community had a new spark in sight. A new genre was born, the SCPF genre, where these game owners, also known as the administrators, lead the site. Most SCPF owners are around the age of 14 to 18-year-olds, and on this day, 16 to 25-year-olds. I will give you a few examples of famous SCPFs around 2021. For example, Paphos 3 or Site Phoenix. These SCPFs were known as the most iconic SCPFs in the SCPF genre, and that can be an issue, because in this genre there's a big reputation of being quite the opposite of being friendly. That would lead us to the biggest threat of the SCPF genre. You maybe think that the SCPF community is pretty friendly, but let me tell you just right now, it's quite the opposite of what you think. As soon as you join the SCPF genre for the first time, you have a few options. Either you want to become successful in the genre, or you want to become in the community as a regular person. Most people say that I want to become successful. Let me tell you right now, are you sure you want to be one and face the risks of being an administrator? Part 2. My start in the SCPF genre, also known as my origin, but my story begins in 2020. When I joined for the first time in the SCPF genre, I was around 14 years old at the start. I had a few goals in my mind. My first goal was trying to be successful, and my second goal was to make the best SCPF ever. I'll explain how I achieved one of these goals, but there's a lot of things to say about my story. Before I want to own my own SCPF site, I had little to none experience in Roblox Studio. I used free models probably that had viruses inside, and I sucked at making Roblox scripts. So in 2020, I built my site based on my inspirations of my first SCPF game that I played called Site 19 Roleplay. I wanted to be just like them, but I realized that the game wasn't a SCPF. It was a basic roleplay game with lots of rules. So I reached Site Phoenix. There is where I got my inspiration truly from. I got my site that was full of open source stuff like builds, it was infected by viruses, and it was just bad, horrible. However, that didn't break or stop my motivation. I met a guy that was pretty friendly to me. He said, I will make your site bigger, and please keep in mind my group somehow had the 100 members. With that dumb game, I trusted the guy and I let him guide me on how to make the best SCPF server, which was called SCP Site 53. It wasn't a huge success, but I was happy with it. But I made the biggest mistake in late 2020 to 2021. I got raided by my own friend. I lost all my friends/members. I was devastated. But then I met a guy called Freddy. We were good friends, and he was the reason I got motivation to own my own SCPF again. And then I met a guy called Lights. He gave me a site that was called ARC32, which I thought isn't that site from someone else. But he lied, and I trusted him, so we named the site, but we still use the ARC32 open source version of it until 2023. I met a lot of new friends in that site, and I have grown my experience in game developing later on. I thought I was getting famous one day, but maybe you guessed it already, we got raided again. 100 to 150 members were gone. Removed because I demoted the guy. Pretty ironic how people just focus on a Lego role. Pretty funny. But then, in 2022, the site was dead. And why, you maybe ask? I was growing my own YouTube channel back then, and I wasn't really focused on it. But in the beginning of 2023, I revived the game, and we kept growing, but during 2022 and 2023, horrible events happened. The SCPF genre was dying. Not a great timing. Site Phoenix and Paphos 3 and ACF Apollo have shut down. Keep the last SCPF in mind, by the way. So I lost hope in the SCPF genre because it was dying, and I realized the reasons of most SCPF shutting down. It's either of its community or the owner doesn't have the motivation anymore. You maybe think the story ends here, but no, there's a big horizon coming up. Part 3. ACF Apollo. What is ACF Apollo? It was a site owned by Blue Conix, a famous content creator who made SCPF videos on YouTube. He made his game in 2022. Or no, my bad, 2020. And closed his game in 2023. His SCPF was quite huge and famous in the SCPF genre. Some consider it to be the best, and some consider it the best game ever created. After the shutdown, I realized ACF Apollo had such a potential that I didn't want to throw away, like that. Most people enjoyed that game, and so did I. So I took the risk on March 15, 2024, and I DM'd Blue Conix for potential license and maybe a revival to the game. Believe it or not, but he said yes, but on two conditions. The first one, that I had to state that I got permission of Blue Conix and Conix Studios, that I was allowed to use the site without getting DMCA striked. And the second condition was that I had to remove game passes to make sure that I don't get funds. And I did this, because I don't want to get the game from profit. On March 16, 2024, ACF Apollo 2.0 had to shut down. There were different reasons why the game had to shut down. The first one was the gun system. The gun system was owned by software, not by Blue Conix, and he didn't talk to software about it. So I could have get us DMCA striked, but after we had evidence that software didn't really care about the gun system if it's non-profitable, Blue stated a few new reasons on why the game had to shut down. Blue Conix, aka Daon, shut down the game because of its reputation and because he wanted it just to rest. He didn't want his site to be used by anyone anymore. Because of it, it could have affected the reputation of Apollo of something it isn't. Here are some screenshots of Blue Conix stating it. It gave me a huge shock that my biggest dream of a SCPF to rise again that would fall just in 24 hours. I was DM'd before the shutdown by huge GOI owners to make an alliance again because they had previously a relationship with the old ACF Apollo. Not only people with a huge reputation in the SCPF genre joined ACF Apollo, but also Blue Conix himself joined the game for a few times. Even after the shutdown, I got harassed by multiple people because I had to shut down Apollo, even though it wasn't really my fault. I felt really sad and upset about it. Part 4. Exclusive Studios. After ACF Apollo shut down, I have decided to make my own game studios, called Exclusive Studios. I always loved the horror genre, and I thought, hey, why shouldn't I make my own game studios? And also make horror games. And, ladies and gentlemen, It is in development. We're currently working on the new phases and we are expecting it to be released in May. However, Exclusive Studio is not only working on horror themed games. We are also making, for example, simulator games or spooky roleplay games. We are focused at its most important spectrum, details and graphics. We are working constantly on the new level of details that we will put in the games. We have a high quality team and we also work pretty fast. If you are ever interested in development or in developing in our studio, please DM us or give us a call in the server. It's a link in the description. Part 5. SCPF Intelligence Agency. You may have heard of them, intelligent agencies. They're edgy kids, but let me tell you, there are a lot of things you don't know about. The intelligence agency are used in some SCPFs to do illegal things, such as doxing and DDoSing, or leaking someone's IP, for example. This once happened to a person that was targeted by SCPF owner that sent his intelligence agents after the person. The intelligence agents do whatever it takes to take someone's private information. They don't care if it's legal or not. And that is the main issue in redacted departments in the genre. There was a case that went so far that the user killed himself because of the intelligence agents bothering this guy, like stalking IRL. The SCPFs have been shut down multiple times because of the intelligence agency drama, and in overall the communities don't like redacted teams because it can evade privacy of users. These intelligence agents are going sometimes to so far to be in relationships to gain information about its user. And this is why people don't trust people in the SPF genre, because it can scar you for life. This was also one of the few reasons why ACF Apollo had to shut down, because an O5X wanted to add an intelligence agency in our site, which we didn't like the idea. Part 6. SCPF Pedophiles and Groomers. It's time to dive into the horrors of the SCPF genre, most disgusting type of people, pedophiles and groomers. These are people who are either sexually attracted to kids, or take sexual advantage of them while the victims are underage and the users is over the age of 18. In my eyes, this is the most disgusting thing to do as a human being, to another human being. The main issue is that on Discord, most of its users are below the age of 18, which is attracted to pedophiles and groomers. These disgusting people are manipulative and very sadistic. What they mostly do is scar the victim for life. There are multiple cases of pedophiles grooming the victims in the SPF genre because the genre is full of kids, and pedos use that as an advantage. Not only there are cases of sexual harassment, grooming, or trying to e-date the user, but there are also cases of users that are actually listening to the groomer slash pedo that actually get raped. This once happened to a user that wanted to remain anonymous, but she explained what happened in short. The groomer wanted to meet the girl IRL, in real life, and which they did, and the groomer wanted to invite her to come in his house, and you guessed it already, she got sadly raped. Not only did the girl get traumatized because of this event, but she also just left the entire internet forever, and the rapist probably either got arrested or is still out there waiting for its next prey. These people are just the worst of the worst, and I truly think the SPF genre is having massive issues with these people, as these kind of people are easy to blend in the server, looking like they're below 18, but in reality it's all a lie. We don't know where these monsters are, but I can say that I am very careful in SPFs because there always are groomers. Hello, NTC.
Hello.
So I'm here with you with an interview about your experience in the SCPF genre. So, are you prepared?
Yes and no.
Well, so, what is your opinion on the SCPF?
On like on this SCPF or
Well, in general, like in general, what do you think about its community in the SPF genre?
um it varies from SCPF to SCPF.
That's true.
And an Oraculous SCPF, I always had a great time. It was a great SCPF. The one day I played here, it was also very great, but there are also darker sides of the SCP genre.
Yes, indeed. And what do you think about its community of many SCPFs? Do you think it's like friendly or not?
I think it's more like going into the direction of not friendly, as there is like you have to follow the rules, they are enforced, and there's like from what I've heard, SPFs had IA to spy on people in real life.
Yep, that is true, and that was actually stalking. Um, yeah, and what is your opinion on the intelligence and redacted teams?
Mm, so my opinion on that would be, if they are teams just used for the lore, like not to actually spy or damage other SCPFs, then I think that's okay. But if they're like uh, really used to spy on other people in real life or destroy other SCPFs, I don't like.
You don't like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same here. And what do you think about the SPF owners? Because they are also pedophiles, and mostly SPF owners are like also pedophiles. What is your opinion on that?
Like, I've seen great SPF owners, but also just worse and bad ones. Like, um, I've seen back then ones who didn't even care about the SCPF really,
Mm-hmm.
or like the people in them. But I also like saw some where the owner actually cared about the SCPF and the people in it.
And can you tell me, like in short, why, for example, Oraculous SCPF has shut down?
From the reasons that Oraculous made public, you shut it down because uh, of constant DDoXing from other SCPFs and how other SCPFs operate, and he didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to experience that on himself too. So yeah.
I understand. And if you do, you also like the SCPF genre in general because it's pretty fun, but it has dark sides.
In general, I like it, but there could be adjustments that could be made.
And do you like how do I say this? Do you think it's meant for children, like for under the age of 16?
Um, it varies, I think. It a, a bit yes and a bit no.
Yeah, I understand. The whoa, there goes bro. Well, I think this was a bit of my what I wanted to hear of you. Thank you for actually helping me and telling the story. Um, Thank you for everything. Because show your ID real quick to the people.
No
He
problem.
is my lead developer, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, he's my helper. He's the lead developer also of Exclusive Studios. And do you have any words or like your goodbye to the interview?
Um, the SCPF genre is great, but there should be changes made to like stop that with actually spying on other people in real life.
Maybe because they're edgy, but anyways. Well, thank you for the interview, NTC. I wish you a very happy day.
Yeah, thank you, you too.
Part 7. SCPF, Doxers and DDoSers. Doxing is in short for document. It's basically mean that the private information about the user is no longer private and is public without the victim even knowing. The SPF genre has multiple issues with these type of people because they are everywhere. However, there's also a thing called DDoS. This is when a DDoSer basically floods the server with traffic until the server shut down completely. DDoS attacks are known to attack billion-dollar companies such as Xbox and PlayStation. The SCPF of Oraculus was experiencing such horrible event, as Oraculus, the owner of SCPF site Phoenix, was threatened by Flammy, an intelligence agent, to DDoS Oraculus SCPF, which was pretty terrifying to say at last. There are multiple reasons why Aura has shut down his SPF, but this is exactly one of the few reasons of its shutdown. There are multiple people that are crazy enough to do this type of thing. DDoSing or doxing is considered illegal, and yet they do it anyway. What is their motive? Is it because they are just dumbasses or edgy kids? That might be one of the reasons, but there are a lot of reasons why, and there's also a reason about money, because they can be hired to DDoS or dox a user for money, for blackmailing or threatening the user to give them the money, or else they will show the users, for example, naked pictures to the public if they don't send them the money. And sadly, these people are not the type to be messed with, because in short, people are just in overall weirdos and mentally unstable, so they focus on kids for money that they probably don't even have, and the sad thing is most of the time they can't do anything about it. Part 8. SCPF, The End. Scary, right? The dark side of the SCPF genre. Well, don't be scared. You won't fight these type of people quite often. They are mostly hiding in the shadows, like some weird Batman wannabe. But to be honest, if you want to own your own SPF, you must know a few things in overall of security and people. Because there are always rotten apples in the tree, and they will try to hurt or damage your reputation in any way possible. But if you just try your best and have a lot of time to spare, why not try to own your own SPF? Thank you for watching this documentary. Please consider liking and subscribing. I worked a lot on this video and writing the script. And please consider also joining exclusive studios if interesting. And I wish you all a happy and a great day.